Next, I would like to ask Mr. Marco Witteveen, CEO of GarantiBBVA, and he will be accompanied by his partner Martijn Schilpoort from OutSystems. I like that. Thank you.
No beard.
At least I like it, but all right. Marco, your challenge was to clean up legacy IT, realize optimum customer interaction, and add new digital products and services. So clean up and then go into the plug and play. So why did you start this transformation in the back office?
I started not really in the back office, but as the organization. In order to do a digital transformation, your organization should be ready for it. Otherwise, yeah, you cannot solve it with only technology. So you have to change the governance of your organization. You have to give a different dimension on productivity. So new skill sets, new empowering of your customers, agile way of working introduction. Only then you can basically enable technology if your organization is ready for this big change.
Right.
And that's quite important. So it is 70% cultural and organizational change and 30% technology in the beginning.
And you're talking about GarantiBBVA, international, Turkish, right?
And Spanish.
And Spanish.
Quite hierarchical.
What does that mean from a cultural perspective? You in Amsterdam saying what?
We had to basically introduce the agile way of working, empower teams below the managing board to make their own decisions. So we determine the what and they determine the how. And that is sometimes very difficult for managing board members not to get involved in the how too much.
Yeah. Marco, you deployed low code and cloud in that situation, going from hierarchical to giving even more freedom for the teams to work on. How did that work?
Now, in the beginning, my information security team said cloud. I said, no, we want to sit on our servers in our data room because it's so unsecure. Now they're completely the opposite. So they're now the biggest preachers of cloud. But yeah, cloud has a lot of advantages. They have a security framework. You can standardize it. It's scalable. You can pay as you go. But also they have a major toolkit in the Azure cloud that we are using. We're using also the Azure integration services, robotics, Power Automate, data lakes. So you immediately have a complete toolset to your availability. And a lot of our SaaS vendors are also in the Azure cloud. And so, yeah, that makes connectivity very easy.
Yes. And applying all the technology to connect your backend to a front end, how did that work? So do people accept APIs on the back end, low-code possibilities on the front end? It's fascinating because most companies do it the other way around.
We made in our architecture a very clear distinction between, I always say it very roughly, from prospect to contract. That is done in low coding because there is all the regulations, there are all kinds of the risk, the controls that we do there. And when you get a contract and the loan has to be fulfilled, then you only go to a back office system. So it's a very clear demarcation of our architecture. And we are very, very, very thorough in that. So everything from prospect to contract, whether it is a loan utilization or it is a new client or it is a new payment, it will all go through low coding based platform. And then it will go to fulfillment, and that is just one upgrade per year because that doesn't change that much. But the other part changes every month almost.
Cool. Right, so we got a visual, of course, to underline the story. But Martijn, why did you choose OutSystems?
As a person.
Huh?
What I see in the market now is that there is a certain maturity now in the, well, I think still is called the low-code industry, but in honesty, I think it's kind of a redundant term, to be honest. I think it relates too much to speed and too little to getting the complexity out of your application landscape. It's all about visualizability now and all about openness. And I think that actually is something that OutSystems really provides to our customers. And so it's more than just the replacement of the old-fashioned way of coding. And that's, I think, a market which is exploding.
Right. And if you look to the market dynamics you see now and in the future, what are those?
First and foremost, I see that there's going to be a basically consolidation of all those platform propositions, and basically it's all going to be, in my opinion, about actually reducing complexity and actually getting organizations such as yourselves ready for this new Neville normal, running on this Neville normal platform.
Yeah. Marco, so far we've been talking about what happens inside your processes. What is the customer going to notice?
At the moment, not that much. They see that the internal processes are faster because we went from silo-based processes that every company starts with to end-to-end processes. So they see that the flow is going through our organization is faster. But the next step, if you have your own house in order, you are capable now to go to the outside world because you have a complete kind of composable kind of infrastructure where you can add SaaS models on, white labeling models on, which immediately gives you full functionality also to your clients.
If you could pick 3 areas to improve the customer experience, what would they be?
Give them a very good service. So the time to market for them, getting their products faster, that is very important. But also give them the tools that they can manage themselves also. So the more they can manage themselves, the less is there pressure on our internal organization. So that is also a very important part. So the better tools up front, the more we can optimize in the back and organize ourselves better.
And what does it mean for the role of a technology leader in this case? What would you...
The role of the technology leader is to have a vision. A very clear vision, but also to be able to communicate that and involve the businesses. Because I always say there are no projects if if there is no demand at the business side, there is no projects for me to do. So to have my own job there, I have to convince them to do projects and also show them that certain issues are solvable. And that's what we did. We started with small projects. We showed them that it was working, also with low coding, and that we had quick solutions. And then it became an oil stain where we basically, more people came and said, oh, but then you can also do this for us. And you can. So it is preaching, but it's also coming to solutions very quickly.
Right. And if you put it in a context of some earlier experiences from you, Marco, you've been with a couple of companies, such as like NIBC, for an example.
Yeah.
So what did you learn from the context today, or the organization today, or the marketing today, that will say, then I need to transfer myself, and how do I handle that? Can you reflect on that?
Yeah, I think...
So what did you totally do different today than you did yesterday, right, with NIBC?
I spent a lot of time in communication. So I think the first half year at GarantiBBVA, I only spent making meetings, making presentations, getting feedback from people what their first thought were, where they see the impediments. And there were a lot of impediments because people don't want to change if they do things for 10 years at the same way. And that was what I did differently. So I had a lot of conversations with a lot of people, and that was draining a lot of energy. But that also gave me now a lot of kind of positive vibes.
Right. I hear a silver bullet or a golden bullet, what you would like. Thank you very much, Mr. Marco Witteveen, accompanied by Mr. Martijn Schilpaert.